Last time we met the chef, who gave us a dire warning about the man who haunts our nightmares. We must kill the creeper before he kills the dishwasher. Let's see how that plays out here in the Hell Chambers. Yuki's taking a moment to reflect on her past life, but only a moment, because we need to move on. So back here in the Lich's arena, timed fight segment. Most of the enemies that spawn in are going to be instantly executable. Those floating robot heads and zombies. So we desperately need a grab attack if we are to make the time limit. There's a few invisible enemies and sword-armed guys that are going to spawn in as well. The blade magic is pretty useful at keeping our time down. Having the right strategy left us with plenty of time left over. So going back the way we did last level, we can now go up because we have the tower key. But I've just realized I made a mistake. Before we can move on, we have to do a little bit of backtracking to this previous area we saw several levels ago. Just past these persistent corpses, we find another solo. That moody piece was called If and House and a Heartbeat. It's a tribute to film composer John Murphy. I very much like the tone that it sets for this level. Our prize for that is the crown bead. It increases the damage we deal and the damage we take. Put it over the cloud bead since it increases all damage, not just electric. One of my favorite beads, very well suited to my preference for glass cannons. I probably will not be taking it off anytime soon. So now we can head back up the tower. We're introduced to the chainsaw cyborgs. Incredibly dangerous, much faster than the other cyborgs we've met. They too are kind of glass cannons. They don't have very much more health than the other guys. So steel magic almost instantly kills them. We'll be seeing plenty more of those though. They are very deadly. We have a new blood magic. Devouring blood magic. That's what it does. Lifts enemies up into the air while constantly damaging them. It's not very good. It's honestly my least favorite magic in the game. Even still, it's kind of cool. And it can set up multiple enemies for air combos if you don't want to do it manually. So here we have the main combat room of the level. We're going to be spending a lot of time here. 3 various levels they complicate matters quite a bit. Spawns in 2 different types of teleporting enemies, which is wise because non-teleporting enemies tend to get stuck on whichever level they spawn in on. So you gotta chase them down, and then the teleporting enemies come after you. This tiny platform up top is especially dangerous. It tends to have a sword arm guy up there, and the teleporters can really get at you up there. Meeting those chainsaw guys in the last room has inspired me to bust out my own chainsaw a bit more. That's enough of that. It's better to be careful in this room because it is quite a long gauntlet and you don't want to rely on health pickups. Especially if you're wearing the crown bead. So that's the first wave done. Still plenty more where that came from. For some reason I have a harder time timing my attacks on those enemies up here. So busting out the painkiller. Since the only remaining guys like to jump a lot. Example of the devouring magic, setting them up for aerial attacks. This is the final enemy of the area. And I'm not going to take any chances, just going to let him kill himself. We can finally move on. But we shouldn't forget the bead that we get. The wine bead will increase our damage based on how low our health is. Combos very nicely with the crown bead. I considered putting it on over the bat bead, which is the only bead I'm willing to lose at the moment. There's a rumbling of an impending nightmare. But first, more combat. And the Warden is back. This time with a ridiculous orange helmet. Other than that, he is pretty much identical. It's about the same amount of health and exactly the same attacks. He combos especially nicely with this gigantic cyborg. If the two of them lump up together, it can be very hard to separate one from the other and deal any significant damage. Yeah, when that happens, you've basically always got a deadly attack barreling down on you. Once you get one down, it can be pretty easy to solve the remaining one. And it's business as usual again. Once the computer-headed cyborg starts spawning in monitors, new enemies will not spawn in. So that can be useful, except that we've already killed all the hard enemies. Take care of this last batch, and the nightmare will return. So Yuki has slain the Dishwasher, just as he slew her the last time they met. And the Creeper, having achieved his goal, is now going to execute her as well. And the Creeper is an especially dangerous boss, far more mobile than the previous bosses have been. He's got way more attacks as well. That circular saw move will almost always hit you if you're in front of him. And while he's doing it, he moves away from you, so you can't really charge an attack. The shotgun, however, will move him towards you if you're behind him, so that's a good time to attack him. You don't really want to face him in aerial combat. I've just got his health low enough and mine high enough that I'm trying to provoke him into doing one of his final attacks. There it is. Scorpion's get over here chains. Just using up a bit of magic even though it does almost nothing to him. Ready to finish him off. He yanked his head clean off, just like he's tried to do to us in our nightmares a couple times. So the dishwasher is dead, but that's not how it had to be. If we'd been playing as the dishwasher in his solo campaign, he would have been warned by the chef in the last level that Yuki is going to kill him, and as such, be prepared to defend himself. We've seen that she's going to kill us if we let our guard down, so we're going to have to put some hurt on her. Got the same B prompt attack as he did in the prologue. The creeper has shown himself. Kill him without having to kill Yuki. Fortunately, I've already destroyed Yuki's health. The prompt for making the creeper spawn is doing 3 B prompt attacks on Yuki. So ideally, I would have done so without having done so much damage to her. That blade magic almost killed her while doing nothing to the creeper. The two bosses can hurt each other with their attacks, but the creeper has so much more health than either Yuki or the dishwasher that it doesn't really matter. It's never going to work in your favor. Splash damage from the violence hammer. It's finally killed Yuki. The dishwasher swore he'd never kill her again, so that's a failure on our part. What you want to do is come in with the meat cleavers. Do a full light attack combo on her. It can be a little hard to approach her without getting stabbed. But if you have the Ibidon and a full light attack combo, it will set her up into a B prompt attack. If you don't have the Ibidon, she might block too many times for that to work. Once you get her in the corner, and the creeper summoned, you want to get as far away from her as possible. You can lay the hurt on with the violence hammer without risking Yuki's life. Once Yuki gets too close, you can't use the violence hammer. It's too risky. And the spirit magic we shouldn't have yet, but if we do, is very, very useful for this fight. It does almost no damage, but it heals for quite a bit because it's hitting 2 bosses at the same time. It can be pretty tough to separate the two, so you can do damage on the one without hurting the other. I've got his health so much lower than Yuki's now that I'm taking a few risks with her health. And my own, unfortunately. There we go. Yuki is safe and the creeper is dead. But that isn't what happened. We killed the dishwasher, and we're going to have to live with that.